As you can see by the title of this video, it is not clickbait. I did have my baby, actually this one right here, on my bathroom floor. So I want to start out by saying that was not my original plan. My plan was to go to a hospital and not have any medication, like an epidural. I didn't want any unnecessary interventions, and I just wanted to say I definitely got all of those. So I'm going to start with the day before, which was May 27th, 2017. My 2-year-old son, Malachi, and I were at Spring Mill, which is state park, and there's like a little village and hiking trails. My parents were camping, and we just hung out with them and were visiting with them that day. So I was having now I know they were contractions, but I was having what I thought were just Braxton Hicks because, they hurt a little bit, but I didn't think this was a real thing. So I didn't tell anybody. I just kept it to myself. These were happening about every 10 minutes or so. So we just hung out with them for a few hours. I went home that evening and it was kind of late, and Malachi and I had been up since 6:30 in the morning, so I thought we should probably get some sleep. If this is actual labor, then I'm gonna need some energy to labor at home. We're laying in bed. Yes, my 2-year-old still sleeps with me. He's 2.5 now, and he's still in my bed, but that's another story for another day. So I'm laying there with him thinking, this could be the last night. It's just him and I, and I don't know. I was just thinking of that moment. I was kind of sad. It was bittersweet, like, okay, it's just me and him, and then tomorrow we could be a family of 4. As I was trying to sleep, the contractions started picking up. So at this point I was like, okay, this has got to be actual labor because these are kind of hurting. Contractions were coming every 4 to 5 minutes. The plan was, before I even was in labor, I purposely didn't pack any bags or do anything because I wanted something to keep me busy while I was in labor. So I started a load of laundry. I got in and out of the bathtub. I took a few showers. I bounced on my yoga ball. My mom and I had planned before that I would call or message her if I thought I was in labor, and she would go ahead and come over to help with Malachi. Around 3 a.m. I messaged her that, hey, I think I'm in labor. I'm not really sure. No rush. Just wanted to let you know. Just come when you can. She didn't end up seeing my message until 4:30 a.m. and she asked if I needed anything and that she would be on her way. All I told her was I wanted a sweet tea. At this point, I started feeling really nauseous. I suffered through hyperemesis gravidarum. I'm not sure if I said that right, but it's HG for short. And what that is you get sick a lot, and I had to take Zofran my whole pregnancy multiple times a day just to be able to eat and drink. So I went ahead and I took a Zofran. After taking it, I felt a little bit better, and I decided to eat some raspberries. Now let me tell you, raspberries were my absolute biggest craving with her. I have no idea why. I had never liked raspberries before. I would eat 2 cases this big every single day. At least they were healthy, right? I'm just eating some raspberries and bouncing on my yoga ball, and around 6 in the morning, Malachi woke up. I think he could sense that something was up, and he wanted to know what was going on. So after Malachi woke up, I got my husband up. He got home at some point at like 1 in the morning, and he just went to bed. I told him he needed to get rest because I thought I was in labor. So he had been asleep this whole time with Malachi. I I told him he needed to wake up and help with Malachi because we needed to get ready to go. Eventually my mom got there and it felt like forever. It felt like it took her forever to get there, but she brought Malachi breakfast. I got my sweet tea and I was just walking around and pacing. Like, that is how I dealt with the contractions. I remember my mom asking me if my aunt should come over to help with Malachi so then we could all get out the door and head to the hospital. As I'm walking around, I remember telling my mom that at this point I would have already had an epidural with Malachi. That kind of told her in her mind, okay, we need to get going to the hospital. My aunt got there and my mom said she was going to go install Malachi's car seat. My aunt could take Malachi to her house and we could go to the hospital. I told my mom that I wanted to go downstairs and check the install of the car seat because I'm one of those crazy car seat moms. While they were getting the car seat installed, I was telling Jayton, my husband, what to get packed in the bags because, like I said, nothing was ready. My mom comes upstairs with Malachi so I can tell him bye because we were about to leave to go to the hospital. I told him bye and then I was like, okay, hold on. I feel like I have to go to the bathroom. So I go into the bathroom. My mom goes downstairs with Malachi. I'm sitting on the toilet, okay? And I feel this big pop. I'm telling everyone, I think my water just broke and we probably need to go because this baby is not waiting. At this point, after my water broke, I could not get off the toilet. I could not get off the toilet. And this instinct just took over and I started pushing. Like, once you have the urge to push, you cannot stop. Like, that baby's coming out whether you want it to or not. I told Jayton, you need to get in here right now. The baby's head is coming out. Jayton runs into the bathroom and I tell him to help me off the toilet or the baby is gonna be born in the toilet. So somehow he lifts me off the toilet onto the floor. The baby's head is hanging out and somehow the baby's head did not like touch the ground. I don't even know how he lifted me off the toilet the way he did, but he did it. So now I'm sitting on the floor with the baby's head hanging out of me, and he's like, what do I do? What do I do? I'm like, I don't know, call my mom. I tried calling on my phone. My hand was all bloody. I couldn't get any of the buttons to work. So he ended up calling my aunt and said, come up here right now. The baby is coming. And they're like, what? My mom makes it up to the bathroom and she helped deliver this baby girl right here. I pushed one time and she was out. Meanwhile, during all of this, Jayton called 911 and they were on their way. She laid the baby on my chest and started patting her and just trying to get her to cry. And I was like, Mom, don't shake the baby. She wasn't shaking her. She was just trying to get her to cry. So after a few minutes, my mom asked, what's the gender of the baby? Because we were Team Green and we did not know if baby was a boy or a girl. She looked and she was a girl. I thought she was a boy the entire time, so that was kind of a big surprise. The EMTs finally arrive. They cut the cord, they clamp it, they check all of our vitals, and we were doing pretty good. The craziest thing about all of this, at least for me, is that I stayed completely calm the whole time. I didn't scream, I didn't cry, I didn't freak out. I was completely calm. So I get onto a wheelchair and my mom carried baby girl downstairs. We left behind what looked like a crime scene. There was blood all over the floor. It was pretty gross looking. So I was put onto a cot when we got outside, and I just held baby girl with me in the ambulance. This was my first ever ambulance ride, and I hope it's my last. On the ambulance ride, it was about 15 minutes to the hospital. They gave baby some oxygen. She was kind of a little bit purple, but they didn't seem too worried about anything. When we got to the hospital and they opened the ambulance doors, there was a crowd of people, and they all said, "Congratulations, what a birth story." And I still couldn't believe it myself. Still to this day, I'm absolutely amazed by what happened. We got into the labor and delivery room. I got into a bed. The doctor asked if I had delivered the placenta yet. I said no, so he gave me a shot of Pitocin in my leg, and let me tell you, that hurt more than giving birth and pushing a baby out. Like, that hurt. He told me to push. I pushed once and the placenta was out. I asked him if I tore. Thank goodness, no tears at all. I was surprised. While the doctor was getting the placenta out, baby girl was getting checked over and just making sure she was okay. I remember I was wearing a dress, and I told the nurses to just cut it off because it had blood all over it anyway, and it was not worth saving. Actually, I got to do skin to skin and nurse my baby girl. We were trying to decide on a name, and I would like to introduce you to Miss Marlo Joy. She was born at 7:35 a.m. on May 28th, 2017. She was 8 pounds, 10.2 ounces, and 20 inches long. She was also born on my younger sister's birthday, so that's kind of special too. I just wanted to end this video by saying her birth did not go as planned, but if I had to do it again, I would do it exactly the way it happened. It was such a healing experience from my son's birth, and I am a huge promoter of having birth with no medication. Anybody can do it. If I can do it, I am such a baby when it comes to pain. Anybody can do it. There is no feeling like it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope my birth story inspired at least one person, and thank you for watching.